trying to catch my breath. My heart is going so fast, not getting enough oxygen to my brain. That just continued to heighten to where I just fell out on our head athletic trainer's floor. I had a panic attack in front of more than 20,000 people, and that changed everything. My father had played in the early 70s. He had handed me the ball at a very early age, and it just never left me. It really always has been a safe space for me. It's always been a way to escape, whether I'm feeling down, whether I'm feeling anxious. I just want to go out there, I want to sweat, I want to go hoop. Won an NBA championship in 2016. In 2017, I think a lot of people thought from the outside that everything looked good. I was playing basketball, living my dream, and getting paid to do it. And while that was true, there were certainly things in my personal life that were heavy and taking a tremendous mental toll, and that's away from the court. Then you factor in, mental and physical exhaustion of going to 3 straight finals. We had made big trades that summer. Championship aspirations were expected not only to just make the NBA Finals, but potentially win the NBA Finals. And I felt like my life was spiraling out of control. In 2017, on November 5th, during a game, I was out on the floor. We had called a timeout. We were about to check in, and I told my coach I couldn't go. I felt like I was constantly swimming upstream and trying to grab for air. I'm going to the locker room. I'm trying to catch my breath. My heart is going so fast, a mile a minute, not getting enough oxygen to my brain. I ran to the back, our trainer's following me, and I'm like, I need to escape this as quickly as I can. So that just continued to heighten to where I just fell out on our head athletic trainer's floor. That was a scary moment. Went to the Cleveland Clinic. They said I had a panic attack. That was a major turning point in my life. When that last pillar, which was basketball and my safe space, really fell, I was helpless. I decided to ask for help, and it took a major mental health moment and episode in order for me to get there. But the idea of my teammates finding out, management finding out, ownership finding out, people within my life or even outside of my life, if people get wind of this, what are they going to think? In my mind just continued to race, and I think it was stress and also an even more heightened level of anxiety. I figured if I just continued to keep that in, and there's going to be more and more rumblings of people speaking about what's going on with Kevin, that I wouldn't be able to free myself from being in a really dark spot or feeling those anxieties. That's why it came to a point where I just said, you know what, I'm done struggling alone. I don't want anybody else to attempt to tell my story or I guess out me, if you will. I penned a first-person article. On November 5th, right after halftime against the Hawks, I had a panic attack. It came out of nowhere, and I'd never had one before. Writing it was a way to stamp my ownership on my story. And I didn't even know if they were real. But it was very real as a broken hand or a sprained ankle. There's a lot of emotions leading up to the point of pressing send on that article, and it was dread. It was also slightly panic. My livelihood was at stake, reputation as well as character. My life could change forever. And since that day, almost everything about the way I think about mental health has changed. The responses were vast. Within the first week, we had over 10,000 emails. And it was people sharing their own stories. That was not what I set out or intended to do, but it was incredibly powerful. Nothing would have changed had I not accepted that I needed to share my struggles. As an athlete, I was taught a certain playbook and to not show weakness, but more often than not, things compound and then they accelerate, and then you're left in a position of being far worse off than you would have been had you found somebody to talk to or found a way to attack it in a healthy way. And I think in terms of young boys or young men, you see that a lot because you get shamed. And I always tell people like, if they think, it's soft or they think it's weak. I'm like, listen, I've played 15 years in this league. You don't get to this point by being those things. How are we doing? It's a tired type of idea and conversation to say those things. So I think that erasing the stigma, having these conversations, I think that's where the genius lies in all of this.
The reason I was able to open up was because of him. I told him, like, I feel better now about myself. That, hey man, you can open up if something is off about you. Like, it's okay to be a little bit off sometimes, man. Like, it's normal.
Appreciate you.
You're welcome, man.
What I've learned is that even if somebody has acute anxiety or, say, depression or whatever it may be, you can't treat two people the same way. But I think what people long for is somebody to lean on, somebody to talk to. It doesn't always have to be with a professional. It can be with somebody that is going to protect you within a safe space. The superpower is the vulnerability. This is who I am. I'm owning it, and you can't use that against me. These are my scars, but I healed through it. It's been a great last couple of years, but it's not without struggle. Not all days are perfect. It's not like there aren't some varying degrees and levels of bad days. But I think in doing the work through therapy, I'm definitely better for it.